Welcome back to the basement. This is your feel-good kickstart to the day. Tiro is back with a brand new version of an old stalwart. The Fortuna returns with a facelift by the looks of it.
Yeah, this is an incredibly popular car in South Africa. And you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. All right, so 4D4, I'm assuming that talks about the engine. What's going on under the hood?
D4D, yeah. So this is the 3-liter D4D model, which is an engine which has been around since the dawn of time. And that's a good and a bad thing, because it means it's reliable and it's easy to fix. But it's starting to feel a bit old and a bit clunky. But doesn't seem to make a difference, because South Africans still continue to love this engine. It does duty in here and in the Hilux. There is a new one available though, newer rather. There's a 2.5-litre diesel. It's got the same sort of torque as this one, a bit less power, and it's quite a bit cheaper. In fact, you can get a 2.5-litre diesel with a manual for under 400,000 rand.
Wow, when you compare
that's a lot of car for your money.
Before we look at the price though, and that certainly seems to be a defining figure, what do you make of the look of the car, the styling?
You know what, they couldn't really change it too much, could they? They've changed the bumper a little bit. It's got these quite cool new headlights with the Bison and auto leveling lights. Pretty cool, that, actually. But you know what, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's still got that characteristic face that South Africans seem to really love. It shares a lot of styling cues with the Hilux, which, again, hugely popular model in South Africa. So still looks very good, very chunky as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of car here.
It's got a lot of beef, man. Should we step inside?
Exactly, yeah. Before we step inside, don't you love a car with running boards? Hey, it just says adventure. Look at that.
I will set off on an adventure with you, sir.
Nothing says adventure like a running board. Anyway, the interior has got a lot more refined. It really has. So the biggest thing you'll notice is the addition of a touch screen. Now, that handles all your media and that sort of thing. And there's also Bluetooth, aux jack, and USB, which are all very convenient.
Yeah, pretty much standard now. You've almost got to have them in, eh?
No, exactly. And I think funnily enough, the biggest change with this model, and you're not going to believe me, they started offering the dashboard and the trim in black.
Wow.
So South Africans love khaki shorts, but we don't like khaki dashboards. Because this is what South Africans always wanted, was the black Fortuna inside.
But it feels good, it feels chunky. Like you say, it's got a lot of manliness to it. A lot of manliness.
It's a much nicer place to be than it always has been, I think. And that's kudos to Toyota.
I think people are loving this so much. I think someone's arrived to pick up the car for us this morning. It seems to have turned into a bit of a 4x4 competition.
Well, hopefully not to steal it. All right, now there's some stuff in the boot that I really have to show you. And it's the seating arrangement. I'm not mad about it, because what happens is the seats fold up to the side, and they clip onto your, oh, goodness me.
We did that just to create a nice industrial feel down here this morning to show you the Fortuna in its comfort zone.
See, now those clip onto the window and onto the grab handles there and then fold back down. Now, Toyota says that this makes the floor lower and easier to use, and that is true. It's a lot lower than its rivals, but I think that it does eat into your load space sort of higher up. So a bit of a debate there to be had, but at the same time, it's quite a comfortable 7-seater, which also is very practical.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like they've squeezed seats into a boot.
Yeah.
But I think what blew my mind earlier was the pricing and the positioning of this car when you put it against its
rivals.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, you and I could have stood here and spoken about puppies and rainbows for the last 5 minutes, and it wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference to sales figures. They sell these things like you won't believe. And I think it's because I think there are better products out there now that are more modern, but this undercuts them quite significantly. 537,000 for this model, compared to the equivalent Nissan Pathfinder of 666,000 rand.
120,000 rand.
130, exactly.
Wow.
The Trailblazer comes in at about 569. So it's difficult to argue with that, especially when you have a car which ultimately ticks all the boxes.
It really does. Well, you can take it from Tiro. It really does tick all the boxes. Thank you so much, my friend. An absolute pleasure. As always, I think I'm going to hang around for a bit of a test drive after this, but now we've got to get into our national news.